Sometimes we think it's just a ghost. Can't be the Lord. Must be just my imagination. Kind of phantasm. Am I just making this up? Is God really calling me to that? Is He speaking to me? So in the gospel today, we have another resurrection account, and there's kind of a regular chronology that happens with these. The first thing is Jesus appears or reveals Himself. And then the second thing is they don't believe. This can't be real. They're incredulous. Then the third thing is He opens up the Scriptures and explains what's been prophesied. Then fourth, He breaks the bread and they recognize Him, and then they're filled with joy. It seems like that's the chronology throughout. It happened on the road to Emmaus, and it happens in today's gospel. Jesus does something very interesting in the gospel. He says he eats a fish. You think, what is Jesus doing? The resurrected Jesus. It's not the pre-resurrected, it's the post. I mean, this is the resurrected Jesus who can walk through doors without having to open them. Can suddenly appear and suddenly disappear. Why does He need to eat a fish? Fish is an ancient symbol. There's a lot of fish things in the Gospels. I mean, Jesus tells the apostles to cast their net on the right side of the boat, and they find 153 fish in the net miraculously, right? We got a guy who writes a check to the seminary donation every once in a while, and it's always for $153. It's kind of cool. I know why he's doing it. Jesus has Peter go and catch a fish and take 2 coins out and give it to Caesar to pay the tax. He multiplies the fish. There's a lot of fish thing. If you go to catacombs in Rome, sometimes there'll be a fish symbol, and it'll have the Greek letters ichthus, which stands for Jesus Christ, God's Son, Savior. Greek letters. And so it's an ancient symbol. But why does Jesus eat a fish in a resurrected body? One thing He wants to do is tell the apostles, I'm real. I'm real. This is not a phantasm. See, I'm eating. Now, in the gospel today, He says, look at my hands and my feet. You know, in John's gospel, He says, look at my hands and my side. You see the wounds, you see the miracle. A lot of times you and I might hear a message. We might have fear. We might doubt. I was talking to a man just yesterday, and I was giving a talk, and I was talking about St. Teresa of Avila and how she marked true locutions. And she had several criteria that were true locutions versus her own imagination or versus Satan's mimicking. And she said a true locution from God has some of these characteristics. She says it's clear. She says it endures. You remember it for a long time. It's not made up step by step, but the full understanding comes. So she has these certain criteria. She says it comes unexpected. Unexpected. A word from God. So this guy came up to me after the talk and he says, you know what, Father? He says, you helped me so much, he said. His name was Don. He said, you helped me so much, he says, because 10 years ago, I thought I heard God's voice. This thing came into my head and it said, do not drink from the waters of the world, but the waters I place beside you. He had this line. And he was doubting it. But after the talk, he said, now I know that was God. That message endured. It was clear. It was unexpected. All right, so today we're celebrating resurrected accounts. Do you know that in the Eucharist, we receive the resurrected Jesus? We talk about His body and blood. It's a resurrected body and blood. He is going to appear to us in a moment, and we're going to consume Him. let's not doubt, as many of the apostles did, but Lord, grant us faith, faith to believe.